Well, Insights 2024 is here. So every year we like to put together some commentary on both what's happened last year and what we're looking forward to this year. Last year we had lots of unexpected things. Everybody was saying that we were pretty certain we're going to head into a recession. Markets probably weren't going to do very well. Lots of dour forecasts last year, very unusual for Wall Street. And instead, we had a great year. Markets performed well. Economy held up. We started to see some changes in inflation and in interest rates. And so all of that's combined to make 2024 also a little bit uncertain where we're going to go from here. So in our email, you're going to get a copy of our insights, the full commentary that we put together, and then also a one-pager that summarizes some of our thoughts if that's easier to digest. And then just want to share a few things here on the video. So it is nice each year just to take stock of where we've been, where we think we might be going, and how that's going to impact our investments and our financial planning for the year. As everyone knows, I don't like predictions. I think they make you look foolhardy. I see a lot of folks come out with big predictions early in the year and then they modify those forecasts mid-year. Well, that doesn't count. If you're going to make a forecast, you've got to stick by it. And so rather than do that, we try to ascertain what's going on in the tea leaves and then adjust based on what we see and make sure that we prepare ourselves for a range of outcomes because it is impossible in this present world to know exactly what's going to happen next. So I've titled it this year, The Old Boss Doesn't Look Like the New Boss. We have seen a full regime change. We have higher interest rates. We have slower growth. We have higher inflation. We have bonds that are behaving differently than they ever have before. We have yields now above 5%. And so when all of that's going on, that's not things that we've seen in a long, long time. For 40 years plus, we have seen interest rates come down, back into the 70s. Well, now that has changed, and we're beginning to see those dynamics shift in the market, and we have to adjust accordingly. So that impacts both our investments and how we're allocating even our stock and alternative investments. And so we think this is probably a change that's going to be a longer-term trend where we could see higher rates, higher inflation for a longer period of time, definitely higher than what we're used to. So that's been the big regime change. The first good note, though, is that we're seeing inflation start to come down. You can see in this circle thing that I put together that we had a peak in inflation and in core prices, and now we're beginning to see that moderate. And so while I think that's a good dynamic to see, and that's certainly helpful, inflation being higher for longer is certainly something that could happen. No way we can get through Insights 2024 without talking about the election. So in the piece, I put up a few charts together to explain how markets behave in election years. It's interesting because historically they've actually been pretty good. And over time, we don't see a huge difference between which party's in power. And so generally we have divided government, and that's what we've illustrated as the most likely outcome. Markets behave generally pretty friendly in a divided government because there isn't big change. Market doesn't like uncertainty. And so as we move through this year, it would not be unusual, however, to see some volatility, especially in the short term, as polling numbers come out, as geopolitical events unfold, and as it looks like we see more determinants of who's actually going to be in office in all three areas, in Senate, House, and in the presidency. And so as we move into November, don't be surprised to see some ups and downs. The good news is if you're in Iowa, the political ads are over for a while since the caucuses are gone. So we've got some peace and quiet there. So we hope you'll enjoy Insights 2024 this year. We look forward to any feedback and questions, and we'll be discussing all these in detail with our clients as we meet with them throughout the year. So thank you and have a great day.